From Aaron possibly surviving that incident to a whole new villain shaking up the town, this is the rookie fans sharing their theories on Season 6. Well, there's a chance Aaron might not have died. The rookie's never been afraid to shake things up and kill off major characters. But when it comes to Aaron Thorson, the writers better think twice before going down that road. In the Season 5 finale, things took a dark turn when Aaron and Selena Juarez were ambushed by a bunch of masked criminals on the streets of LA. Poor Selena got smacked in the head, and it looked like Aaron took the worst of it. He got shot in the back and was rushed to the hospital in pretty bad shape. Just as the finale ended, the hospital staff went nuts and called a code blue for Aaron's room, so no one really knows what happened after. But it would be a pretty bad move to kill off Aaron. Remember when Jackson West died in the Season 4 premiere? Yeah, that hit us hard. We found out about it through those haunting surveillance tapes, just like the other characters. La Fiera's goons shot poor Jackson in the back and tossed him in a trunk. The whole squad was left devastated. But Aaron came into the picture right after that as Jackson's replacement. So if they followed the same pattern with Aaron, that would be a real letdown. Let's be honest, recycling storylines is a major buzzkill. We want fresh and engaging plots, not reruns. It's time the writers take Aaron on a different journey, one that leads him to recovery, not a tragic death. Right from the start, his traumatic and mysterious background grabbed our attention. Coming from a prominent and wealthy family, Aaron's life took a dark turn when his roommate and childhood friend was murdered while they were studying abroad in France. It was a crazy event that changed his life forever. To make matters worse, Aaron was arrested and became the prime suspect in the murder. He spent a year in jail, facing the weight of a crime he didn't commit. Eventually, the French government acquitted him and he was able to return home. It was a relief to see justice served, but it also marked the end of the intriguing storylines surrounding Aaron in the show. Before getting shot, Aaron's pursuing a career as a detective, which is definitely a step up for him. But let's be real, he deserves more than just a promotion. His character has so much potential for a gripping storyline with real stakes, and that opportunity could come in the form of a near-death experience in the Season 5 finale. But even more shocking would be the one storyline we can all see coming. Nolan and Bailey breaking up throughout Season 5. The writers dropped hints here and there that things weren't going so well for the couple, and if they just brush aside these issues and rush them down the aisle in Season 6, well, that would be a big mistake. It just wouldn't make sense for the story, and would create a bunch of plot holes. Remember back in Season 5, Episode 4, when Rosalind trapped Bailey and Nolan got pulled away? Yeah, that was a real nail-biter. Rosalind made Nolan an offer he couldn't refuse. To save Bailey's life, he had to take out Rosalind. Tough call, right? But in the end, Nolan couldn't go through with it. Luckily, the other characters swooped in and saved the day, rescuing Bailey. Now here's the thing that raises eyebrows. Nolan couldn't bring himself to kill a dangerous serial killer to save the woman he supposedly loves. Suspicious, don't you think? After that, things weren't smooth for the couple. Bailey had a hard time moving in with Nolan, and when she finally did, an earthquake came along and wrecked a gnome that Nolan believed would bring them good luck. And here's another red flag. Nolan even forgot that Bailey was his fiancée. Yeah, not the best sign for a happily ever after. On top of all that, the show hardly mentioned anything about their wedding plans. It's like they just swept it under the rug. Given all these circumstances, it just wouldn't add up for Nolan and Bailey to tie the knot in Season 6. Not to mention the rookie already has another love interest for Nolan. If the writers decide to address the issues in Nolan and Bailey's relationship in Season 6, they may end up breaking up. Losing Bailey's character wouldn't hurt the show, since her only strong tie is to Nolan, and maybe even Selena. Plus, if Nolan and Bailey call off their wedding, the show already contains another possible love interest for Nolan, Jenny Bradford. Jenny is Tim Bradford's sister, and in Season 5, Episode 9, she officially moved to Los Angeles with her 2 sons following her divorce. Nolan helped Jenny move into her new home, and viewers couldn't help but notice there was some chemistry between the 2 characters. Their chemistry, plus their similar backgrounds, could make for a match made in heaven in the rookie Season 6. Nolan and Bailey aren't the only couple who might break up in the next season. Chenford are also in danger. One of the standout moments from Season 5, the start of Tim Bradford and Lucy Chen's relationship, lovingly referred to as Chenford. It was definitely a crowning moment for the show, but There were a few bumps along the way that have to be smoothed out. Tim's move to Metro certainly made their work life easier, which is a big plus. But Lucy failed to communicate with Tim about her involvement in getting him that new job. That lack of transparency led to their first fight. I mean, communication is key, right? Eventually, they patched things up, but then Lucy went and lied again, this time about how her scheming had actually hurt her chances of becoming a detective. On top of all that, Lucy's dream of becoming an undercover cop is bound to cause some friction between the two. It's a tough gig, and it's understandable for Tim to have concerns about her safety. Relationships are about compromise, but when you're living in a drama series like The Rookie, it's never that simple. Given the circumstances, there's a pretty high chance that Chenford might hit a rough patch in season 6. And Elijah, on the other hand, will get revenge. The show dropped a little hint in season 5 that we haven't seen the last of Elijah Stone. He got himself arrested and thrown in jail back in episode 17. Well, guess who his new neighbor is in prison? None other than Oscar Hutchinson. And let me tell you, things got interesting real quick. When Oscar offered Elijah a chance to check out his book collection, Elijah had a curious request. He asked if Oscar had any revenge stories. Now that's quite the question, isn't it? It's got us all wondering what Elijah has up his sleeve and whether he's planning some sort of comeback in season 6. What really caught our attention was the possibility of a team-up between Elijah and Oscar. These two are some of the most notorious villains the show has seen, and the thought of them joining forces is both exciting and a little nerve-wracking. Some people might argue that Elijah has been used a bit too much in the series, but hey, that doesn't mean the writers should just brush off his revenge comment. Maybe we'll get a special one-off episode in season 6, where Elijah and Oscar make a grand return. It could be the moment we've all been waiting for, especially for characters like Angela Lopez, Wesley Evers, and the rest of the mid-Wilshire crew. Speaking of villains, there'll probably be a new one. In the last few minutes, we see this black SUV heading toward downtown LA, and every single cop in the city is driving away from it. Inside that SUV, there's this man who's clearly up to no good. He cackled like some sort of maniac, boasting about how he successfully weaponized this guy named Luke Moran against the LAPD. Apparently, this move has caused every cop in the city to abandon their posts and go after some other target. But Luke, the one everyone thought was the mastermind behind the attacks, turns out to be nothing more than a pawn in someone else's twisted game. It just goes to show that things aren't always what they look like. Now, this mystery man inside the SUV, we don't know his name yet, but he's played by Christian Brun. When season 6 rolls around, we can expect to learn more about him and his wicked plans for Los Angeles. So there you have it. From Aaron possibly surviving that incident, to a whole new villain shaking up the town. This was The Rookie fans sharing their theories on season 6.